Hello and welcome to another episode of Sweat and Iron. I am Graham, your host, and today I am bringing to you Nick Gagakis from South Africa, where it is not only hot and sunny this time of year, but also filled with zombies. We'll be getting into what those zombies are doing and why we're talking about them later. But first, let's talk about what this podcast is about. We're going to be going over Olympic weightlifting, what it is, and how it differs from other forms of weightlifting. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to Sweat and Iron. Here's another episode with Graham, and this time I am joined by Nick Gagakis.
That's close enough. Hi,
Thank you.
everyone.
For all you people out there, Nick lives in to what America would call an awesome place to be, I guess. Where are you, Nick?
I'm in South Africa, sunny
He's in
South Africa.
sunny South Africa. Yeah, right now it is November, and to us Americans, it's wintertime, baby. But to him, it's summertime.
It's summer, it's around 30 degrees Celsius. It can get a little bit hotter, it can go up to about 35 Celsius. Certain parts can go up to 40, but yeah, it's nice and warm. We have a tropical climate, which is awesome. So that kind of cools down during the evening, and then there's a little bit of rain sometimes as well. So we actually have summer rains. We don't have winter
Oh,
rains. So I mean, the one thing I can say about South Africa is the climate is excellent. It's really great,
so in other words,
and our
you
winters are
want
not
more
that
people
cold.
down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And our winters are really not that cold. They can get cold. You got to put something on, but not below freezing or anything like that. I'll complain when it's below 10 degrees Celsius,
Yeah, and I
whatever
like to
that is.
make fun of I like to make fun of you when you start to complain because I'm up here and it's let's say it's about 2 degrees Celsius here, maybe lower, and you're down there, and you're saying, "Oh, it's 15. Oh my gosh, it's really cold."
Yeah, fuck that. Anything below 15 or 12 is not very comfortable. Funny enough, personally, I actually prefer the cold. My mind works better with the cold,
Oh yeah.
but it's a problem of getting up in the morning and that kind of stuff. But yeah, anything. Look, we're sun people. We love the sun. We're very outdoors type people, so
I
it's the
bet.
way we grew.
Does practically everybody have a pool there?
Pretty much, yes.
So it's
And
like
even in
Florida.
the even in the gated complexes, we have a complex of a whole number of maybe of 100 townhouses, what we call townhouses. There are pools in the complex as well,
Oh
sort of
wow,
kind of like pools that obviously the townhouse complex can use as part of the rates and taxes. So yeah, a pool is an excellent thing to have, and
that's
most
neat.
people do it. Yeah.
So now that we know where you are and the fact that you guys love it when it's warm and really hate it when it's cold, let's move on to what it is that you do in fitness and health. And that is quite extraordinary to me because I do something where I just do sets and reps with weight that just periodically a shift up or I might back down. I do dumbbells, I do squats, I do deadlifts, but you do Olympic weightlifting.
Now I
And
do Olympic weightlifting. Yes.
yes, now you do Olympic weightlifting. To the people listening, can you describe, in a general sense, what Olympic weightlifting is? Because I know it can range in the movements and what you lift. So,
Yeah, Olympic weightlifting is a sport. It's the only strength sport really that is in the Olympics, hence the name Olympic weightlifting. Weightlifting is spelled one word, weightlifting. I know it gets confused often where people talk about weightlifting, but now they're talking about actually bodybuilding or they're talking about powerlifting. Some people think weightlifting is strongman, where strongman is a sport on its own. but the sport of Olympic weightlifting is comprised of the two movements, the snatch and the clean and jerk. It is an Olympic sport. It has been in the Olympics for quite a number of years. It's changed over time in terms of the movements, but the two basic movements have always been there. So it's really that's it. And it started off, I think, in the past with the clean and press, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was
The
going to
snatch has
say.
always been, yeah. There was the clean and press, and then they realized that the press started to become a little bit dangerous and a little bit restrictive in terms of how much you can lift over your head. So the jerk was kind of developed in order for the guys to be lifting more over their head. I don't quote me on the numbers. I don't really know the numbers that the guys were pressing, but also quite huge. We're talking about over 180, 200 kilos.
Wow.
But now I believe the world record for the clean and jerk is around 264 kilos, and for the snatch it's 220 kilos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, going back to the clean and press, I was going to say that the movements that you do for the clean and jerk are very similar at first. They look like you're about to do it that way, but I don't have the terms down, but the clean and press,
Okay.
right when you're about to do the press, that's when it turns into the jerk, and that's when you shift your legs back and push up, right?
I
And then
would
you
I would compare the jerk more to the push press, where you use your leg power to drive the barbell up.
yes, that's it.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's call it a push press, but there's a difference. So with the push press, you're driving your legs to push the barbell up. With the split jerk or the power jerk, you're actually driving your body down against the bar. Remember, with the jerk, you're lifting usually, if you're even an intermediate lifter, you're lifting over your body weight. You can't get that thing over your head just with your legs. So
No.
you actually have to push your body down against the bar. So you offload the bar and you push your body down. With a push press, in essence, you're pushing the body up.
Hmm.
But from a coaching perspective, we actually teach the push press before we teach the split jerk, because the leg drive is the same. Try and keep it the same, so we get the same mechanics going with the legs, the knees out, quick dip and press, and then we go into the power jerk and the split jerk.
You said that you are now doing Olympic weightlifting. Does that mean once upon a time you did something else? And if it was that case, how did you transition from one to the other?
I'm one of many stories. I'm just a statistic of all the guys that started off in CrossFit and moved into Olympic weightlifting. There are many stories like mine. I'm no
Oh,
exception. So CrossFit has done great for Olympic weightlifting. It's introduced many people to it. Some have moved permanently, like I did, and others kind of stayed in between, but hired coaches just to get better at the lifting. So that's really my story, and it's like I said, it's not rare. CrossFit has done great for Olympic weightlifting
I could
in
I
terms
could
of
see that.
introducing it to people. Yeah,
I could see CrossFitting transitioning into such
yeah.
uh, a movement. Um, so what is it then that got you involved in fitness? Did you just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I need to I need to lose some weight," or "Hey, I feel like I want to gain some muscle," or what was it?
I don't know. I walked into my first bodybuilding gym when I was 16, and it was always kind of on and off at that time. I played water polo in school, so I was a fairly good swimmer. So it was all a bunch of bodybuilding, but you know how it is when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you're not really we weren't really worried about what we were eating and macros and that kind of stuff. I mean, we would train and mess around, but it wasn't anything serious. I think I really only got serious, I'd say, in my mid 30s. I did some boxing as well. This was before CrossFit. Still carried on with bodybuilding, but there wasn't really any goal in mind. I think after my divorce, I really let myself go, and I think that's when everything I just said, no, it's enough. I've got to pull myself together. Like every divorce, it was just shit. It was real crap. Yeah.
You're right though, because I recall I got out of college, and when I was in college, it's just like your metabolism is at a good rate. You could eat and drink anything,
Fuck, I don't
and
even remember what I used to eat. It's like anything.
I
Fuck.
think it was pizza,
Oh
beer,
yeah.
Chinese, whatever. And then life slows down all of a sudden when you hit somewhere between 26 and 30. And then you wake up one day and you go, I fucking put on like 45 pounds in the past 5 years. What the hell?
Yeah. I think to answer your question, I would say around the time I was separated from my then wife, and then the divorce was going through, which took almost about a year. That's where everything just really went to shit. And then I had to turn everything around. And then from then on, I actually became more conscious of what I looked like and what I could do and that kind of stuff. So that's really sure. Now that you asked the question, now that I'm answering the question, I actually realize it.
Was a
I
lot
never
of it
thought about
stress
this, but
eating?
it was more drinking than eating. Huh?
Okay.
What do you
Yeah.
do when you get divorced? You don't eat. You drink the fuck out of yourself and go to strip clubs. Huh? Guys that have been divorced will testify to that.
You just let yourself go. You do whatever you want and
Uh,
find whatever makes you happy at the time. And then you wake up about 5 to 8 years later and go, I need to undo this.
yeah, I think it's necessary though. I think it's necessary sometimes to hit that rock bottom where you can't go any further. And I won't go into the scary stories and all that, but yeah, I did some bad stuff. Not illegal, just really bad stuff to my body, and I had to stop and I had to turn it around.
Yeah. And that's where the gym comes in, networking friends through the gym, finding groups online, meeting
So,
people, finding out new things to do, and you just have to find that niche where sometimes some people have to find new people to hang around, sometimes new habits, cut out the old stuff, new stuff. Some people can still do the old stuff with the new stuff, and they still do just fine, but we all have to find our own paths in the end. And one thing that can definitely be said is if you hit rock bottom and you're bouncing back, it's a nice positive thought to say, I am never going to go there again.
oh yes. Look, the other thing that I think exacerbated the problem was I was in the hotel business, hotel and restaurant business, and it's known for very unsociable hours, very late night drinking. So during the time I was getting divorced, there was that as well. I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
a person to blame anyone. I could only blame myself for the shit that I was in. So I'm not saying, but that just made it even worse because it's you're exposed to alcohol, to food all the time. It's late nights. It's you making friends with people you finish late from work with, 2, 3 in the morning. And that time when we were a little bit younger, we could actually just go home and shower and shit and shave and go back to work without sleeping. I can't do that anymore. But
What did you do in hotels? Did you work behind the counter or did you work in the kitchen? What did you do?
I studied hotel management in Switzerland, actually. I left home when I was 18. I went to Switzerland.
Wow.
And yeah, and I have two diplomas in hotel management, an American and a Swiss diploma. We studied American books. We had American lecturers. Guys are good with hotels. You guys know how to rock it. And yeah, I was in the hotel business for about 17 years. And then obviously everyone moves into a specialization. Not everyone becomes a general manager. Although at the end I did become a general manager. So I specialized more in the food and beverage side. So I was
So,
always involved in kitchens and cooking in restaurants, bars. Yeah.
so you went to Switzerland, and did you get into the weightlifting? Any sort of, when did you actually
Oh,
get into the
no.
CrossFit?
Oh, geez, no, that was long after. That was long after my divorce.
Oh, that was long
Before
after
that,
the divorce.
yeah, sure. CrossFit. I started CrossFit when I was 34 or 35.
Okay.
And I did CrossFit for a few years, and I slowly started moving to Olympic weightlifting around 37, 38, about 40. I'm 44 now.
Okay. So you did CrossFit for about 3 or 4 years and then transitioned over.
Yeah, slowly from 4 workouts a week of CrossFit went to three. I started transitioning over to weightlifting. Started watching a lot of YouTube. I haven't stopped watching YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube
So,
does come in handy. I'll tell you that. There's been so many times, I don't know if you do anything through Affinity, but I've been doing stuff through Affinity. I've got their program builder, Affinity Athletics. There's a little plug for everybody. And sometimes they have these workouts on there that I just go, I don't know what the hell that is. So I got to YouTube it.
fuck, I don't know what half the bodybuilding terms are either. Last time I did bodybuilding, like I said, I was in my 20s. I wouldn't even know. I don't know what some of the machines do. I'll be honest with you. I'm used to give me a barbell, and I can show you a whole bunch of stuff with that.
Thank
Uh,
goodness for some of those pictures on those machines if they actually give sort of a cartoonish look to what you're supposed to be doing. I look at it and I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm supposed to move this way. I should probably double check on YouTube.
yeah, so I moved into weightlifting, yeah, during CrossFit, and it's been about 5 or 6 years, I would say.
So
During that
then,
time, I got certified as a coach. I was hired by the gym I was doing CrossFit in as the coach for the gym for Olympic weightlifting. So I would do classes, and I also do individual programming because it is a sport after all. So if I have to program for somebody, it would be individual programming for that person to get them stronger, to get them faster, be better in the lifting, in the lift.
so what's the overall goal of Olympic weightlifting? What is it that you're working on? Overall power, overall strength?
Overall power and lifting as much weight as you can over your head. The goal is to lift as much weight as you can over your head. How you get there is where the coach comes in.
Okay.
So if you take power as your principal, power is force times distance divided by time.
Hmm.
So there's your difference between powerlifting and weightlifting. Weightlifting it's all about speed and power. Powerlifting
Okay.
is a lot more about strength. So the powerlifters are deadlifting what in the 300 kilos or whatever it is. Although Olympic weightlifters deadlift about that amount as well. But for them, that is the goal. Our goal is not to max out on a deadlift. Our goal is to max out on a snatch or a clean and jerk.
To somebody who wants to start out with Olympic weightlifting, how do you tell someone, okay, this is what I recommend you do? Because I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, hey, don't load up 225 pounds on a barbell and try to do some stuff.
No, because the obviously with not obviously, I'm not going to say obviously because that's just assuming. You have to know that Olympic weightlifting is highly, highly technical. It is more technical than I learn new shit almost every time I go onto YouTube or I read up because I'm constantly reading up again and again in my Catalyst correspondence and the books that I have. They are highly technical lifts, and what you see is not easy to do, and it's not easy to do quickly. It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice and a lot of reps and a lot of good reps.
Yeah,
So practice makes perfect. It's good practice makes perfect because you're going to teach your muscles to move, and especially your fast twitch muscles to move in a certain way. If you start teaching them wrong, you're going to get away with it with 40, 50, 60 kilos. But wait till it comes to 100 kilos, 225 pounds, if that conversion is correct. I think it is. And luckily, it's all in kilos in weightlifting. I love it. There's no pounds. It's
yeah, I've
it's
noticed that a lot of my friends just say kilos now, and I just look at it and go, son of a, I gotta Google
no,
that.
but
I'm gonna.
weightlifting is in kilos. It's internationally quoted in kilos.
But we're
There's no pounds.
Americans. There's a reason why we live here, and it's because we don't like the metric system.
Yeah, but weightlifting's an exception. You guys got to get used to it if you play into the sport. So going back on what you
100,
said,
100
I would say
kilos is 220, by the way.
225. Oh, sorry,
Eh,
225, 102 kilos.
102.
I
Oh,
think
there you
it's
go.
divided by
Yep.
2.2. Yeah.
Round it up.
Okay, so you round it up. So for anyone who wants to start Olympic weightlifting, I would say first find an Olympic weightlifting type gym because your regular gym is not going to cut it. You need a platform and you need Olympic weightlifting barbells. They are not the same.
You need
The
the right
barbells,
setting and you need the right people, right?
correct. Right equipment, make sure it has it, and then the right people. You'll get away. The way I started actually was through YouTube, well, in CrossFit a little bit, but CrossFit in those days wasn't really coaching Olympic weightlifting from a quality perspective. So I found a lot of YouTube videos and I actually taught myself quite a bit with the clean and the snatch in terms of technique. And I would mimic the technique. I would sit with my laptop in the gym sometimes and just mimic and do progressions over and over. But then after a while, I needed a coach. So I found a coach, a guy who's coached national champions on our side here. And I learned a whole bunch through him. And during that time, I got certified as well. So it was all happening kind of at the same time. I was just flooded with information. I would dream this shit. I still do sometimes.
Well,
Dream of
is that
the
the same
100.
coach that is on your Instagram? Or
No,
is this
that coach is not. No. This is another. That coach actually coached him too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the reason why I found a coach now, that's a whole other long story. But yeah, that the person that had coached me then has coached this guy as well. This guy was a junior national champion.
I
Yeah.
got you.
He's a great coach. He's a good coach. And they say some athletes don't make good coaches. He knows fairly well. He's
So going,
coaching a coach. He can't bullshit me.
so
He can
go,
fucking try, but I second guess him, because I got a big mouth. I don't keep quiet very easily. So
no way. You don't say that. No.
oh, fuck it.
So going back to working slowly, I noticed that on your Instagram. By the way, your Instagram is great. I think your Instagram would be great for anybody who wants to actually understand how you're supposed to slowly be moving and getting to understand the timing on the jerks and everything else. You want to go ahead and share your Instagram name, or can people just find you as Nick
Oh,
Gogakis?
no, I changed my Instagram name. I'm Little Engine That Could 74.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot
Yeah,
you changed that. Why is that? Why is that?
because because I'm very. It's not fucking deep. It's actually a fucking joke, but it is kind of deep as well because I started lifting again after some bad injuries. I started lifting again this year around May, I think the 10th of May. So I'm only just really starting again. I mean, I was fucking doing big numbers. I was squatting big numbers, and this was a few years back, and it was actually just over 2 years ago. And I actually stopped training for, yeah, just about 2 years, huh? I'm only just
What
getting back to weightlifting now.
what'd you injure? Your shoulder, your back,
I've almost torn my, what's good, the rotator cuff.
your rotator cuff. Okay.
I strained one of my abdominal intercostal muscles. I don't know what they're called, somewhere inside there. And I tore my groin. That was the
Oh,
worst one because I couldn't walk.
yeah.
Squatting.
Hmm.
A freak accident. I went
Yeah.
down and I didn't come up.
So this all happened after you did a movement? You just collapsed, or
No,
what?
those
What?
were three separate injuries, but the groin tear was the worst one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say having that all happen at once, that would have really sucked.
I'm like, fuck, I would have just given up and taken up crocheting. No offense to crochet people, but
Yeah. Yeah, so I was
shit.
talking with Connie earlier. Connie's my wife, everybody, and
Ah,
I
yeah.
was I was telling her that
Happy
that Olymp
birthday, Connie, for the other day. I forgot. Sorry. I meant to put it on there.
oh, it's all good.
Sorry,
I was
man. I
telling her,
go into the group for 2 minutes and like I just quickly check and then I get it back to work and it's like then I forget and sorry. Happy
oh,
birthday. All the best.
That's okay. She just needs to hear the sound of your voice, just like every other woman who wants to listen to it. So I was googling the differences between all the different maneuvers for lifting, and I got to Olympic weightlifting, and it said that it helps with a lot of different things, not just power, but just like with all the other weightlifting techniques, it could help with endurance and speed. And as soon as I got to speed, she said, "Oh, that's going to be great for all those parkour zombies down there in South Africa."
No, there you just need a Glock.
So there's an
You need a
inside
Glock.
joke. There's an inside joke for listeners that the area that Nick works in it looks like an industrial area, kind of,
It's just outside central Johannesburg town.
and
It's a
it's
little bit of a fucked up area. It's a little bit
yeah,
fucked up. So
some
bad. You get used to it.
some of the buildings look really messed up, and just think it's exactly like you see in the video games with zombies or apocalyptic movies with zombies. He'll post videos on Facebook, and you're just waiting for them to come out.
You know, I used to work in five-star hotels and I used to wear three-piece suits. I used to have my suits tailored. I used to have about 50 different ties and all these fancy socks and tie pins and cufflinks. And I changed now and I'm not in the hotel industry anymore. I'm in the family business. Yes, I'm in the family business. Two of my bosses are actually my folks, and my one boss, which is probably going to fall down the stairs pretty soon, I'll blame it on an owl, is the third boss. And it's in the trucking business, and we do clutches and brakes for trucks. So I went from five-star hotels, and I can show you pictures. Those are other kinds of zombies. They're more fancy type, but they're not really zombies. But yeah, it's a big change. That was a very big change. But I'm enjoying it. It's okay. I won't go back to hotels again. It's cool. Leave me in zombie land. I'm good. I'm good.
So, what's the future hold for you, Nick, in the Olympic weightlifting? Do you think you'll go back to coaching, competing, doing anything like that, or is this just more like for me, where I'm doing bodybuilding, weightlifting for more of a hobby, just for my own personal interests and gains?
I've competed in the past. I haven't really done very well. I think I was still very new, but I have felt the pressure and the mental thing of competition. Those are small things. Yes to all of that. I want to coach again. I want to compete again. But I feel after 2 years of not lifting, I just need to take care of myself first. Because Olympic weightlifting after 35, you're considered a master, and it's the kind of sport that catches up with you really quickly. I mean, this past week now, I'm actually doing accessory work at a local gym down the road because I don't actually have time to do it with the coach. So I'm training. I've trained 4 times this week. So I'm doing the accessory work twice a week, the Olympic lifting, the accessory work for Olympic lifting twice a week, and the actual lifts twice a week as well. So, you push yourself as far as you can push yourself. That's why I'm the little engine that could, in a way. But
That's a
I'm
name that has
44
many
years
meanings.
old. So, sorry, excuse
I
me.
said that your name has many meanings.
It's a little bit deep, but it's a bit of a joke as well. It's okay. It's cool.
So
I
that you
really,
work
I,
out
I laugh
basically
at
four.
myself a lot. I laugh at myself and I criticize myself a lot. You can't call
No,
me fat. I'll call myself fat before you do, kind of
you,
thing. I'm that kind of person. Do you know what I'm saying? I know
the
where I
only
stand with myself.
the only way that you're ever going to really succeed in life and find a positive outlook and everything is if you can actually look at yourself and laugh.
Like, I laugh at myself all the time, and yeah.
If you if
So
you can't
yes,
if you
yes to
can't
all of
get
that.
there, then I don't know what's.
To answer your question, yes to all of that. I want to coach again, but I want to look. I want to just take care of myself first. Try not to get injured. When you get older, the mind wants to do it, but the body is saying, listen, maybe not. Hold back a bit, but the mind really wants to. So there's no mind over matter. A snatch is a snatch, and a clean and jerk is a clean and jerk. And if you fuck it up, it can fuck you up.
So you train 4 days a week then, right? Four training days a week,
Now
or
I've just started doing that now. I was training 3 days a week. Then I turned it to twice and it overlapped. Now it's 4 days a week, yes.
okay. And how do you incorporate your nutrition into your training?
Well, I've just stopped counting macros. I think I posted that in the group. The numbers were just getting too much for me, and it was too much. I've got work, a whole bunch of work to do, and I've got the lifting, and then I have to follow the numbers. So I thought, let me just basically eat to support my training. I eat relatively clean anyway. I don't eat a lot of takeouts and that kind of stuff. I mean, I love cooking and all that, so that's great. And yeah, every now and then it's a little bit of Nutella and some biscuits and that kind of thing. But I eat to support my training. I've landed up in the middle of a training session like starving, and I'm trying to do a snatch, and I'm just thinking, "Fuck, I'm hungry. I need to eat." And that doesn't work, and especially for Olympic weightlifting, it affects the speed at which you go. It affects everything.
I thought you were going to say, I'm in the middle of training, and all of a sudden, all these numbers popped in my head of how many calories do I have left? Oh my goodness.
I look, macros is great, but it was never something I wanted to carry on forever. It was a stepping stone to just a better lifestyle and knowing portions. I'm Greek, we don't know portions. Come to a Greek house and you'll see when you want to feed 5 people, they cook for like fucking 30. You'll end up eating the rest for the rest of the week, the
Oh yeah.
leftovers.
Well, America got their introduction to what Greeks do by watching My Big Fat Greek Wedding or whatever that was.
That's pretty accurate. That's
Yeah, and I think they turned it into a TV series too, very briefly.
really
But
cool.
um, yeah, I personally, Connie and I turned to first we did Avatar. Avatar was decent at first. We did lose some weight initially, but I didn't think
Yeah.
Avatar for me was very helpful because it was almost as if I just jumped headfirst into the deep end of the pool without understanding what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
Because here I was having a computer program, I'd give it my height, my weight, and then it says, oh, this week you have this many calories and this much protein, this much fat, this much carbs. And then next week, I didn't lose that much weight. So then what does it do? It cuts my calories down by like 100. And after I'm doing it for like, I think we did it together. She started before me, but then I think I was about 4 or 5 weeks in, and it had me down to like 1,200 calories. And I remember I went out with a buddy to a restaurant and I ordered a salad off the menu. And my buddy said, "You realize that that salad's like 1,700 calories?" I was like, "What the fuck? It's a salad. What the hell are they putting in the salad?" That's when I
I was
realized, hmm?
Avatar. Oh fuck the good old days. When I started, I did macros a few years before I started Avatar. When I went into Avatar, I knew how to count macros. My Fitness Pal account was all set up and everything. I had a macro coach before that, and I mean, it was just too expensive to have a coach for nutrition and all that stuff. So, I mean, we're still friends now, but I don't use him anymore. But he's a great guy and he's very knowledgeable. And
It
the problem with Avatar is too numbers focused, and the body is too complicated for that kind of thing. He would check on me every week and ask me, okay, how was your sleep? How is your stress levels at work? How is this? Things that an algorithm cannot do. So the algorithm cuts you 100 calories, but didn't ask you how the fuck you feel. That kind of thing. Obviously, you get what you pay for. But I think for somebody who's experienced, they can use Avatar. Somebody who has no experience, they could struggle with it very easily.
yes, and that's where I was. I
And
was
no experience
struggling,
in that, it's
and
very
then
hard.
Gary and Patrick, we all met up on Facebook, and Gary and Patrick started Affinity Athletics, which sort of took I don't mean to use Avatar and Affinity in the same sentence, but they just took it to the next level. They made it. Go ahead.
Die, die, die.
They made it better, man. They basically took the macro accounting and made it more personable, and also introduced programming and other things that you could do along with your nutrition. And
Excellent.
that, I think that's when everything, I started to understand it a little bit better. I did one-on-ones with them, but if I was to go back and do it all over again, I think what I would do is just do a little bit more research on what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, and then do the one-on-one programming with them, because then I could do some initial weight loss on my own and dial it in, and then by that point I can really see some true results with the one-on-one when they're like, okay, you're dialed in, let's crank it up some.
Excellent. Sounds like Gary and Patrick have a good thing going there. I don't know their background, but it sounds like they have a more, like you say, more personable sort of approach to it. You know, it's not just about numbers. That thing just about numbers it can become a little bit obsessive
It can,
and
it
a little bit
can.
unhealthy.
In
It's
fact,
not just about that.
this past week, I lost a lot of weight back in the end of August. Let's see, so we're in November. So I started a cut at the end of August, and I finished it up sometime around the end of September, beginning of October. And as far
I've
as
seen your before pictures from I don't know how many years ago. The before
yeah,
Avatar. Somewhere I saw, I don't know, you posted that on Instagram somewhere.
I was almost 260 pounds, and now I am down to about 203. And I don't know what that is in kilos. It's probably like
203.
uh,
Fucking
90.
90. It's about 90 kilos. Yeah.
Nice. I was just guessing. So, long story short, I used their Coach Delta program, which is an Excel spreadsheet, amazing. And on my own, I just figured out how to dial in, and I had to find my own rhythm.
Yeah,
I had to knock down the stress. I did have to kick up some cardio. I had to kick out certain foods, which I go back to you saying clean eating. I like to say clean eating in quotation marks, because people always think clean eating means I got to eat vegetables, I got to eat this, I got to eat
mindful
that.
eating. Let's say mindful eating.
Yeah, mindful eating.
Whole foods. We eat whole
Yeah,
foods. Minimally
but
processed. Sound like a fucking Instagram model or something.
it just cracked me up. But you had a point though. Clean eating would be not going out to restaurants all the time, because they cook everything in grease and fat
Mostly, yes. And charge you a fortune for it.
and charge you a fortune. That's right.
Yeah. Yes, I know
Well,
because I work them. I used to do it myself.
well, Nick, I think that pretty much wraps up this little bit we got going on here. It was very fun to interview you, and maybe we can do another interview where we're just, you know, shooting the shit and talking about more weightlifting and Olympic lifting, and maybe some more how to get a break on the macros.
I just want to say, if there's anyone in the group, because I've said it before, who's interested in learning the Olympic lifts, follow Catalyst Athletics, but I can help you as well. Do some videos of yourselves, and we can go through the basics. The thing with Olympic lifts is that they are used, rugby players, your equivalent of American football, and American football players use it too for their explosiveness and their power. So it's used as an accessory movement, not exactly the same or to the level of an Olympic level Olympic lifter, but they use the movements for their training. So, I mean, it will benefit anybody. So if anyone needs any help, give me a shout. Post a video.
And what
Talk
was
you through it.
you want them to
I'm
find you
actually
on
helping Adam.
Instagram?
Oh, little engine that could, 74. Year I was born.
And can you be found
I'm
on
actually
Facebook as well?
helping Adam. You know Adam Rich is in the group.
Yep.
He sends me videos all the time, and then I just guide him through it. I wrote a small little program for him as well, and he's going through it. He wants to compete next year, and he's doing very well. Very strong guy, that. Holy shit.
Is your Facebook profile public at all? Could they find you on Facebook, or is Instagram the way to go?
No, I go through Instagram, but I don't coach on Instagram. I'm really trying to just do that stuff, but I'll help you guys out because you're funny.
But if people want to
Cool.
find you on Instagram, you do have some awesome videos on there. If they just want to get a gist of where to start and how to do it slowly, that would be he's the way to go right now because he's got some nice videos on there. So
Yeah, it's videos, but yeah, it's somehow not so great. But okay, cool.
all
Very
right, Nick.
critical.
Thank you
Cool.
very much, sir. I will catch you later.
Excellent. Thanks, Graham. Thanks for
All
the
right.
opportunity.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Cheers.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Graham from Sweat and Iron here, coming to you with a little bit of a plug for some friends of mine. Yes, a lot of you know what's coming. It is Affinity Athletics coming right at you. www.affinityathletics.com. Buy anything you want at checkout. Use Graham10, that's GRAHAM10, and get 10% off your entire purchase. A lot of people get confused about calories, macros, understanding what a deficit is, understanding what a surplus is. Pick up their Nutrition Bible 101 at affinityathletics.com. This Bible will explain deficits, surplus, everything when it comes to macros and calories so that you can get control of your nutrition and dial in on your fat loss. Once you have that under your belt, go ahead and get Coach Delta. It's a nice Excel spreadsheet. Just fill in your height, weight, and other numbers that it asks you for, and the equations are already built in, so it fills in the spreadsheet for you. You find out what your high days are, your low days are, or if you just want a plain old cut every day. You get your macros, your calories for every single day. And then the rest is up to you. You track your weight, you track your body fat, boom. It tells you what your goal is and how long it'll take for you to get there. I guarantee you'll reach it, if not sooner, definitely on target. Likewise, pick up the Program Builder. Are you tired of searching the website for all sorts of programs? Well, I got that solved for you right here. Program Builder will break it up into 3-day split, 4-day split, 5-day split, 6-day split. Do you just want to do legs? Do you just want to do arms? This thing has you covered. Just fill in the first spreadsheet with any sort of programming you want to do. You want to do flies, you want to do incline press, you name it. This program lets you fill in any sort of workout, and then the other tabs automatically fill it in. Patrick really used his brain with that one, while Gary used his brain with Coach Delta. These guys know what they're doing. If you get tired of doing all that stuff, you want a person to do it? They're there for you. Sign up, and Gary and Patrick have your back. So go to affinityathletics.com, check out the programming, check out the programs, and check out the apparel. The shirts are awesome. They feel good. They make you look good. So check it out. affinityathletics.com, Graham10 for 10% off.